Good morning, Paul McCarthy here at Quest Advisory Group. We're here today to talk to our friend Matt Ledger of Fifo Capital. Matt is in the factoring business, and I was just wondering, Matt, could you tell us a bit more about Fifo Capital and what factoring is all about?
Matt Ledger is my name, and I'm a business partner with Fifo Capital Australia and the director of Fifo Capital Greater Perth. Fifo Capital was founded in New Zealand in 2005 and then moved into Australia in 2007, and from there has gone from strength to strength and is branched into Ireland and the UK also, and there's approximately 70 business partners in the group now.
Great.
Yeah.
So I understand that factoring is a product that's quite common overseas, but it's fairly new to Australia and quite different what you're doing out here. Could you tell us a bit more about what factoring is and some benefits for it?
Yep. So a simpler way to describe it is invoice financing. Mm-hmm. Or some people may know it as debtor financing. But essentially any business that raises an invoice for a product or a service that they've provided to a customer falls into the realms of having to wait for that invoice to be paid, and the terms vary from 30 to 60 to 90 days. So they can have a lot of capital tied up with their customer or customers, and they can run into cash flow problems as a result of that. If you can imagine anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million worth of invoices current, and they're still trying to operate, still trying to purchase raw products to manufacture if that's what they're doing, and they have all that money tied up with their clients.
And of course, with many businesses in that predicament, they're trying to grow, but at the same time they're really constrained because they have so much money just sitting there waiting for invoices to go through.
Definitely, yeah. So they exercise options with their banks because they have relationships with their banks. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, the banks choose to not engage. What do they do? And where do they go? Which is where factoring comes in, and we provide fast financial solutions for these small to medium-sized businesses in order to liquidate so they can grow, as you say, whilst they're waiting for payment. So essentially we're turning unpaid invoices into cash within 24 to 48 hours. It's free money up front. They don't pay anything until such time as their customer pays the invoice. Once that happens, we then forward the balance, which is generally between 10 and 20% of the invoice amount, less our fee.
Wonderful. So 24 to 48 hours is a huge difference to 30, 60, 90 days, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah. And if the traditional lenders are engaging, they're quite laborious in their processes, and it can take them anywhere up to 3 weeks to make a decision and then move the funds to them. And quite often with this growing businesses, the opportunities are lost because they couldn't jump when they needed to jump.
Well, that's true, isn't it? There's that point where you want to grow, but you're constrained, often by cash flow, working capital, and if the banks won't help for whatever reason, then this seems to be a great opportunity for a business to come to a factoring provider.
Yeah. And rather Australia-wide, if we focus on Western Australia, which is where I am based, a recent study by the Curtin University of Research shows that WA small businesses employ 41% of people in Western Australia, which is remarkable, and at any one time they're owed $40 billion.
Really?
In unpaid invoices. Now, if you apply that to the stress on small to medium-sized enterprises in this state alone, I think invoice financing is something that is going to become very prominent and often used, like it is in the UK and America, where it's factored into all their business planning. They use it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's a given.
Excellent. So it seems that this is almost the cusp of the precipice where factoring becomes a part of business life in Western Australia to follow the rest of the world.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not for big business. I think unknown to a lot of people, it's been happening and being utilised for a long time with big business.
Okay.
But for small to medium-sized businesses, I think it's something that's going to come to the fore with business coaches and business planners, financial planners, where they build it into their structure so it's a more affordable and a number one option for them to access cash flow.
Excellent. Well, Matt, that sounds like a wonderful product. It's certainly something I could imagine a lot of firms in Western Australia could use, especially when we're still in a bit of a tougher period.
Sure.
Even when times get better, I imagine that, again, if you can get your invoice in 24 to 48 hours versus 30, 60, 90 days, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It seems to make perfect sense.
Yeah, for sure. And I look forward to the growth in WA. Fifo, we've just recently hit a new milestone at the end of June, the 30th of June, where we've funded $1 billion in funding since 2005. So it gives you an idea of how much it is being utilised, but it's only the tip of the iceberg. And I think for manufacturing, transport, the rag trade, recruitment, there's so many different businesses that are invoicing and waiting, and all that capital is tied up, and at what expense. I think financing and invoice financing is a great opportunity.
It is. Hopefully more firms in WA can take it up, and it'll be to not only the strength of those firms, but a benefit to the WA economy as a whole.
Certainly, yep, I agree.
Excellent, Matt. Well, nice to meet you. Thanks for telling us more about Fifo Capital. If you have any questions, please feel welcome to contact Matt Ledger at Fifo Capital. And Matt, we'll look forward to hearing about your business prospering in WA in the future.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you, Matt.